All right, this is one I've been waiting to drive. Yeah, I agree. For some time. We're finally in the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, and I'm not going to do a deep dive into the full breadth of what is Tacoma, because today specifically we're focusing on the TRD Off-Road. This is a brand new Tacoma, so we have a lot going on, but like I said, we're focusing specifically on the TRD Off-Road, but some of this will carry over to the other models. As of right now, this is the second highest trim you can buy until the hybrid versions ones come out with the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter, which I'm actually very excited to learn more about, and their powertrains and all they got going on. But here, under the hood, we have a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. It's the iForce powertrain, and it is making 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Now, you can back this thing up with a 6-speed manual gearbox, which is awesome that they're still doing that. Or, like our test vehicle here, you can have an 8-speed automatic, which brings the truck into the modern age, because we are dealing with a more modern gearbox. We're also dealing... What? I said torque. We're dealing with a vehicle, like I said, comes into the modern age. This feels like a baby Tundra in a very good way. You have the larger screen up here in this trim. There's a smaller screen on some of the other trims, but we got the big screen here. It attaches to CarPlay wirelessly and seamlessly. It just looks good. It works really well. We have a nice strong boxed frame adapted from the Tundra as well. And then we have disc brakes in the back, which is something you wouldn't think you'd have to talk about in a vehicle in 2024, but we do. Another upgrade this has, especially over the other lower members of the Tacoma lineup, we got coil springs out back. Now, the 3 lowest grades still get leaf springs, but TRD Off-Road and up, maybe TRD Sport actually, and up get leafs out back. Now, this being the TRD Off-Road actually has remote reservoir having Bilstein suspension. We've got 33-inch all-terrain tires. And then even better, this one can be had with a disconnecting front sway bar. I can't talk about enough how this truck is finally in the modern age. We've got a rear locker. We can run this in 2-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low, and it's the old school one. Back it up, put it in neutral. You're not just jamming stuff on the fly. You got to drive this like an off-road vehicle, but it all works. It all works wonderfully. And it's just an absolute revelation that the Tacoma is finally good. I'm gonna say good, and I know I'm gonna get hate for that. I have never been a huge Tacoma fan. One, it's because before this they were the most uncomfortable vehicle you could sit in. Whoever designed that seating arrangement was insane. I know they made aftermarket solutions to raise the seat up, but that was ridiculous that you even needed that. It was crazy. And then on top of that, you know, as capable as they were and still are, they were always capable trucks. It was just really old tech. They were not evolving. Well, the rest of the world and the industry was evolving. And now Tacoma's playing catching up, but it has caught up. This is a nice truck. It's just so much better on the inside. I think it looks pretty darn good on the outside. The powertrain, it feels like the torque comes on lower, and because it does, and you can hear a bit of a turbo whistle, which is kind of fun. The engine itself doesn't sound that great, but who cares? It's not like it's like something, you're not looking for engine noise from this thing, but you can hear a little bit of turbo whistle, which is pretty fun. And then, you know, it could use some more backseat legroom. My daughter, how are you doing back there? She's fine, but she couldn't sit behind me. There's no real room behind me at 6'3". I feel great. I have plenty of room all the way around me. Visibility's great. Just driving this thing feels nice chunky steering wheel in your hand. But it's just kind of nice that it's a modern Tacoma. It looks good, it drives well. Rear disc brakes, again, it's crazy that I have to say that. And I'm just cruising in 2 with the traction control off, driving through this big mud pit because it's been raining all day here. I had to wait to get out. Still have to clean this because they're picking it up tomorrow. And I just remembered my bomber strap is on the tailgate for my mountain bike, which means that thing's probably getting covered in mud, which is less than ideal. But whatever. we're out here to have fun with this thing, and I've been having fun. I went out with a photographer friend who wanted to get some cool pictures. I'm gonna put some of his shots up. AJ, he's Photo Runner on Instagram. He just takes really good photos. But back to this truck. The horsepower and torque are competitive with the segment. The size, the price, all that stuff is competitive with the segment. This thing, you know, as tested, is the TRD Off-Road specifically starts in the lower 40s, and then as tested, this is probably in the mid to upper 40s. It's got the cool solar octane paint on it. I think this is solar octane. Yeah, sweetie. Where? Were they with someone? They're probably with someone hiking out there. We'll check though. Don't worry. Good call. One area it's not competitive though is towing capacity. Yeah, it's in the 6,000 something range. I'll put the actual number right here. But I think Ranger can hit 7,000, and I believe Colorado can go over 7,000. So this to be, I think it's in the lower to mid 6,000s. It'd be nice to get a higher towing capacity and a higher payload, because I think it's 1,500. Ranger's like 1,700. But I'm happy it's competitive. I think it's cool that they're doing the TRD pre-runner, which gives you the look of the TRD off-road, but keeps it rear-wheel drive, but you still get a rear locker on that, which is pretty cool. You can have a lot of fun with that thing. I love the looks of this. They also got rid of the goofy front splitter we all saw in the initial photos and B-roll of this truck. That dumb air dam, which is probably, I'm assuming, for fuel economy. They don't even put it on this one, and I've been told on other models it's pretty easy to unbolt. But this truck leaves me excited for what's coming down the road with the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter. However, I've always said the TRD Off-Road, if you are buying a Tacoma, it's kind of the one to get, because TRD Pro stuff is so expensive. I mean, that's got to be a $60,000 truck we're talking about, with its crazy, it's going to have, you know, Fox suspension. It's going to have those insane seats, which is hilarious to me, because that's tech my Montero has had since the late 80s, early 90s, but, you know, whatever. They made it look ridiculous. And I'm sure it works fine, and it's probably pretty awesome off-road. But I'm happy to report the TRD off-road is nice to drive. It feels good out here. I've toyed with the locker a little bit, climbed some stuff. The disconnecting sway bar works really nicely, and it all adds up to make a difference. And it is beat to hell back here because we've gotten some rain and people are having some fun. I drove the G550 back here. I've driven this back here a few times. I've gotten all these cars very dirty, which means now it's time to go to the car wash. All right, this is don't make noise like that. In the TRD Off-Road, we have a 2.4 liter turbocharged, is it 4 or 6? It's a 4-cylinder, right?